Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our very first Virtual Built Environment Learning Day 2020. My name is Colin from BCA, and I'll be your host and also moderator for the event. Now, the Built Environment Learning Day, co-organized by the Building and Construction Authority of Singapore and Lifelong Learning Institute, aims to create awareness of the future developments of the built environment sector, the career opportunities, and skills in demand in the sector for individuals. Now, we hope that you will be more aware of the various programs and initiatives by Skills Future Singapore and BCA that you can tap on for skills upgrading to be more employable in this current pandemic situation. Now, without further ado, let's welcome our first keynote speaker, Mr. Jeffrey Neng, Deputy Group Director, Environmental Sustainability Group, Building and Construction Authority, to share the global trends and its impact on the built environment and how smart facilities management is needed for sustainable building operation. Mr. Neng, if you're ready, the stage is yours.
Good afternoon to all again. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the organizer for having me here. My name is Jeffrey. I'm from the Building and Construction Authority. And my topic for this BE Learning Day is on the environmental sustainability in the built environment. Now, built environment is an economic cluster comprises of at least four sectors, namely the construction, the real estate where the facility management belongs to, the cleaning, and the security. Now, this beautiful picture of Marina Bay will probably be a good way to illustrate what we do. Complements the video played earlier on. Here, what you can see here is that we are not only in the business designing, constructing very beautiful, iconic building and infrastructure, but we are also in the business into operating and maintaining of many of them. Next slide. Now, environmental sustainability is a key topic today, affecting many businesses, including the built environment. My sharing today will give you some quick overview why environmental sustainability is important and what are the potential opportunities for you as an individual in consideration of joining the BE sectors. Now, why environmental sustainability? Next slide, please. Next. Now, one of the important reasons is the climate change and the global warming. Our Earth is warming slowly but surely due to the human activity that causes the increase of the CO2 concentration. Next. But the effect of the climate change are clear and present. Globally, we see extreme weather events. Even in Singapore, we started to see unusual heavy rainfalls and record of a high temperature at times that we don't expect. In 2018, we marked that year as Singapore's Years of Climate Action to bring about the greater awareness of the climate change, as well as to encourage individuals, communities, businesses to take action to tackle the climate change. Next. Now, I must say here is the built environment sector is one of the culprits causing the climate change. I think we don't deny that. But however, it also presents us a green growth opportunity. The information presented on the left, according to the World Green Building Council, that we see a sign of a strong green building and green construction project around the world. On the right, we also see a growing number of financial institutions and banks start offering more green loan, green financing to support low carbon developments around the world. Next. In Singapore, we also have to think global but act locally. In Singapore, we pledge to set a higher aspiration to do our part to combat the climate change. We aim to halve our emission from its peak with a view to achieve a net zero emission by 2050, if possible. And you can see here, buildings have a strong role to play in enabling a low carbon future, and this is a key to tackle the climate mitigation measure for Singapore. Next. Now, the good news is we have started our green building journey very early. way back in 2005, almost 15 years ago, with a target to green 80% of the building by year 2030. Now, so far, our efforts have bear fruit. We have already greened 40% of the total green building stock in Singapore. However, there are a lot more works to be done and require a lot more of individuals to join us as a green collar workforce. Next. And to share more, we have taken a multi-pronged approach to establish the green building ecosystem in Singapore over the last 15 years. This included a mix of legislative mechanism through regulation, policy, as well as some of the incentive schemes to encourage the greater adoption of the green building in Singapore. Both apply to a public as well as the private sector, and also provide to build up the industry ecosystems and supply chains for long-term sustainability. Next. Now, besides the green building that I mentioned, I think we also see facility management as to be the next growth area. The reason is to sustain the building of performance at an optimum level across the building's life cycle through an effective operation and maintenance regime. Now, we envisage the future of the FM sector will be driven by technology, led by small but very competent FM workforce. Here, I'd like to present you two possible emerging trends in the FM sector, namely the design for maintainability and the smart FM. Next. Now, design for maintainability, or DFM in short, is a concept of integrating operation and maintenance experience into project planning and designed to achieve ease, safety, and economic of maintaining tasks throughout the buildings and the facility lifespan. Now, idea of a DFM concept is not uncommon in many other sectors such as the automobile or the car industry. As we push the boundary of a sustainable and high performance development buildings, maintainability become increasing relevant for them to function optimally throughout the lifespan. Next. Now, the other aspect in the FM trend will be the smart FM, which is about doing better with technology. Now, in the age of digitalization, we need to leverage on technology in order for us to overcome our main power constraint, which is one of the key challenges that faced by the FM sector today. Next. Let's give you some examples. This shows some potential smart FM technology that include the use of smart construction material that could actually have the self-healing ability, the use of drone or the robots for inspection, use of artificial intelligence to perform predictive and or preventive maintenance, etc., etc. So in instances where, for example, repair are needed, probably in future, a robot fleet could be deployed. And for more serious incidents, we can actually send a human officer to conduct the repair, supported by some expert back to the HQ through the augmented reality or supported by other robots to make the job safer and more efficient. I probably will let my colleagues in subsequent presentation to illustrate more on the FM aspect later on. Next. Now, the other opportunity we see in the environment is the area of the demand, increasing demand of super low energy building. As the world as well in Singapore pivoting ourselves towards low carbon developments, we see this also becoming increasing more important. Now, super low energy building concept, again, is not really new. It is an extension of the green building journey that we have started to making sure that the building are energy efficient, water efficient. But however, super low energy building require a deeper, more specialized technology or skill set in order to actually make the building to be super low energy. Next. Now, here are some of the assembly green building that you can probably see in Singapore. All of these different buildings have achieved in Singapore achieved this BCA Green Mark Platinum, one of the highest accolades towards the recognition of the building for their efforts towards environmental performance. And some of these are super low energy, or even some of these are zero energy buildings. Also apply to many building types. Here we can see that there are examples of a building comprises of institutional building, commercial, office, as well as some of the military facility. Next, please. This slide presents another latest achievement by Keppel Bay Tower, which is a new kid on the block towards achieving the Green Mark Platinum Net Zero Energy. So the news was came out just last week. The building owner, Keppel Lands, actually worked very closely alongside with a skilled project team of the green building professional who conduct a series of energy audits, identify suitable solutions to reduce the energy demand and supply the right technology to realize the goal. There are also, in these instances, that there are many close collaboration with different stakeholders, including business partners as well as their office tenants, to enable sustainability of to take centership to help to achieve this. So all in all, here is the environmental sustainability concept is have to able to conduct some integrated design, connecting and understand each other from a different discipline in order to achieve the common goals here. Next, please. Now, what I shared earlier on need not to be just confined into building alone. The same environmental sustainability idea could be scaled up beyond buildings to deliver a smart and sustainable district. Now, Jurong Lake District is one of the very classic examples where it has been identified as, in Singapore as one of the key new growth districts. And there is a plan to actually position JLD to be the world-class sustainable district in years to come. I think here is that the message that I would like to share with all here is the present this opportunity for many of us, those who are already in the BE sector as well as those who are thinking of joining BE sector, a quick opportunity in Singapore as well as the region. As you can see here is that Singapore is not the only country that always looking for urban solution, but in fact, many other countries around the region, in particular regions surrounding us, there are also strong demands of asking for such solution, urban solution, because many of these countries, whether they are in the developing stage or developed, are looking for a solution, how actually they can tackle the challenges that they are facing in and meet these urbanization in around the world. Next, please. I hope that I share some of this green trend and the growth opportunities, and hope that it will be useful for you and help you to make a better career decision whether a BE sector is the right sector for you to join. And the next part of the presentation, I will just briefly run through some of the possible jobs or career that in the BE sector. Next. Now, given that the global and the local trends in the green building demands, there will be, again, there is also a great demand for jobs and skills in the area of, such as the green building, in the area of facility management. In fact, many of the IHL in Singapore, including our BCA Academy, offer suites of green training as well as the FM training at various levels. And I think earlier on we did an estimate that in order to sustain the demands of the green and the FM, we estimated that we required about 25,000 green collar workforce by 2025. Next. Here is just a brief description of some common BE jobs, roles that the personnel skill involve. So you can see here what roles might interest and suit you. For example, here we have the facility manager to ensure the daily operations of the buildings are optimized and meeting the needs of its occupants. Some skill include good communication and a public relations skill. and being resourceful and thinking on your feet, as well as having an eye of detail. Next. Another possible jobs in BE sector are architects. An architect is one who design functional and livable spaces. It is important to introduce sustainability concept upfront in the project design stage, as it will have a great impact downstream. Next. We also need an M&E engineer, mechanical and electrical engineer to ensure that the building system are integrated, operate efficiently and sustainably. Some skill set include having a logical thinking and analytics skill, eye for technology, etc. Next. For more information of what kind of career available in the BE sector, please visit our building career portal here. Now, to end my presentation, I thought that I just want to just use 2 minutes of the video to share a story of an individual, the name of Araf, on choosing facility manager as a career and his experience. Thank you. Let's play the video.
Growing up, I was always a curious child. My dad was always fixing things. He ensured a well-maintained house where everything functioned well, and I would observe the way he carried out his tasks. He was driven and very hardworking. He made sure our family lived comfortably and took good care of us.
Ashraf, makan.
After he passed on, I felt like that part of him stayed with me. I took it upon myself to carry on what he had left, his values, his legacy. I wanted to take care of my family and make an impact on the community as well. So, very naturally, facilities management had to be my choice of study. And I also had a great mentor who impacted me in my career path. Because of that, my aspiration is to give back to society by imparting skills in the built environment and teaching facilities management to other young students. I hope this inspires them to do the same. In the meantime, I am a property officer, doing what I can to take care of the well-being of the buildings under my supervision. My job scope is sort of like a building doctor. I help ensure that we have a safe, efficient, and comfortable living environment. Some of my favorite parts of the job involve being able to use my problem-solving skills to help others. The recognition of my efforts and the smiles I receive from residents gives new meaning to my job. Along the way, I develop good relationships with the residents and they become my community. I also get to see how my hard work allows them to live comfortably. The multifaceted job comes with its healthy challenges. I also get to use technical skills such as implementing new solutions that enhance and maintain the building's performance. I hope to see more and more smart FM technologies being implemented in the facilities management industry. It is an enriching experience because there are always new things to learn every day.
Having a job that allows me to be a part of creating an environment where Singaporeans feel happy and comfortable fills me with determination and confidence to achieve more for my community. My name is Ashraf. I am 26 years old and I am a property officer.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jeffrey Nung. Now, just a gentle reminder, if you have any questions, you can always feel free to click the Q&A button below and type in your queries or any comments that you have for Mr. Jeffrey Nung as well. Next, we have Madam Cheng Su Chen, Managing Director of Facilities Management at C&W Services Private Limited, who will touch on how some of the smart FM practices that Mr. Nung has earlier highlighted is implemented in her company and some of the exciting technologies that they are exploring moving ahead. So, Madam Cheng, you're always smiling. Over to you.
Thanks, Colin. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Today is my Can I have my PowerPoint slide, please? Okay, good. Okay. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Today's my topic is our C&W journey to smart FM transformation. What I'm going to present today is almost the same as what I presented in last year International Built Environment Week conference. For the first few slides of my presentation, I will briefly cover my company profile. For the main presentation, it will cover mainly by video, which are produced by my staff, except for the food waste digester. Next. C&W wants to transform our customer experience by leveraging on technology. Next. C&W is one of the largest FM company in Singapore with about 1,800 staff, managing 1,800 buildings of about 70 million square feet of space. We manage two public-private projects in Singapore, Sport Hubs and ITE College West. We also manage two townships. Next. For IFMA Award, we have secured Singapore Best FM Service Provider in year 2016, 2017, and 2019. Innovation Excellent Award in year 2017, 2018, and 2019. For RICS Award, we have secured Sustainability Award in 2019 on Commendable Award for FM Team of the Year for this year. Next. You'll notice that in this PowerPoint slide, our profile, our clients are government sector and also in the private sector. Next. We drive smart FM practices by defining our service delivery to support our client needs. Next. How we drive our smart FM into our operation. One is by point solution, that is to address specific site needs and client requirement. For example, in the past, for gutter inspection, we have to put up scaffolding in order to allow us to inspect gutter. With drone, which we implemented drone about 5 to 6 years back, we are able to inspect roof gutter inspection without scaffolding. This saves us time and mitigate risks. If the solution is good and viable for other projects, we will implement it on a wider scale. We also do external collaboration with our contractors and third party, and also actively engage with relevant government agency. Next. Our smart FM is led by top management locally and also at APEC and global level. We have collaborative work groups to cross-share innovative ideas and solutions. We impart smart FM knowledge to our staff by newsletter, town hall meetings, circular. The next phase of our smart FM solution is to integrate all our various technologies and product into a single digitized platform and moving towards predictive analytics and asset performance benchmarking. Next. Forging ahead, technology is the future of FM services. Next. We classify our FM solution into three main categories: productivity, sustainability, and safety. For productivity, we have our smart IoT sensor, QR code servicing monitoring system with 360 facilities, and remote supervisory system. For sustainability, we have food waste digester system and utilities management system using Power BI. For safety, we have fire safety app, body-worn camera, and township mobile. Next. For today's presentation, I will cover our IoT sensor, QR code servicing monitoring system, fire safety app, remote supervisory system, food waste digester, and utilities management system. Next. For smart IoT sensor, it provides accurate and real-time building data, and data can be accessed remotely by mobile phone. It flags out instant notification on system failure. This will improve our response time. We implemented it in Singapore Land Authority commercial buildings. Video, please.
C&W Services has many systems to manage daily, and each of them having a different data source of analysis. What if you can proactively collect and analyze these data to optimize maintenance schedules based on early warning signs, or identify cost savings, safety risks, and hazards? This helps to extend the lifespan of your assets, improving service efficiency and even enable expenses tracking. In addition, you will need an experienced team to help you implement the right strategy to improve operational efficiency. We feature C&W Services Internet of Things as a smart technology solution to gather all data parameters into an integrated system with dedicated analysis to allow easy access and quick updates on the system parameters. The Internet of Things integrates the physical equipment with information technology systems by sending and exchanging data over the Internet. The Internet of Things integrates asset and software to the next level by connecting devices to analyze system parameters. Sensors and devices are installed in the system, and they will automatically send information, such as the location, and highlight potential system malfunctions. By leveraging the Internet of Things platform to enhance preventive maintenance capabilities, you can gather equipment data with real-time live mobile access. These data can be aligned with asset history, service planning, and spare parts replacement. You get both 24/7 monitoring of your equipment and plan for preventive maintenance. You can count on the live feed feature to monitor site situations and be alerted of any breach of security and unauthorized access into the plant room. As a result, C&W Services Internet of Things enhances system efficiency and improves productivity with the use of smart technology.
Okay, next. "360 Facilities" is C&W in-house computerized maintenance management system. Asset information is displayed in 360 Facilities by scanning asset QR codes. Our site team will receive real-time notification of any missed servicing or asset failure. Video, please.
With the hard copies filing method for maintenance and services in facilities, at times human error take place, such as mismanaged, lost, or overlooked if we are not meticulous enough. Introducing the 360 Facility Management software for increased operational functionality. 360 Facility application can create scheduled recurring work requests for preventive maintenance or other scheduled activity using library of tasks. From there, users can conveniently tie work orders to generate a QR code for tracking of inspection work location. Technicians can manage vendors' activities and assess work orders in real-time facility conditions with the drop-down list of inspection items. Users update on the go with work orders, attach images, or review inspection logs from the 360 Facility mobile app. real-time reporting can be identified and it sort issues by its urgency and take corrective action immediately. Whether you're on site or at your desk, 360 Facility mobile app can be used to update work orders, attach images, or review the work done. It is designed to manage maintenance or service requirements. 360 Facility is a key component of a comprehensive corporate real estate and facilities maintenance, saving time, reducing cost, and improving efficiency.
Next, please. Okay, our fire safety app is one-stop app for fire safety management on site. This app stores all the fire safety related information that can be easily accessible and updated by our staff using handphone. It also allows us to broadcast our fire safety messages to different chat groups. This app also allows us to take attendance during the drill using QR code. Video, please.
Fire alarm in the building goes off. Occupants in the building evacuating via staircases. Evacuees assembling at the assembly area. Attendance of the evacuees is taken at assembly area. C&W Innovation presenting the C&W Fire Safety app. The C&W Fire Safety app has many features. It includes scheduling of fire drills. With the app, the fire drill can be easily scheduled. When the bells go off, the timing of the fire drill exercise can be taken using the C&W Fire Safety app. Attendance of the evacuees can also be easily taken with the C&W Fire Safety app. The data of the fire drill exercise can be easily recorded and summarized using the C&W Fire Safety app. The C&W Fire Safety app also helps in reporting of fire hazards. Photos can be uploaded into the app. Drawings can be easily saw and retrieved with the C&W Fire Safety app. C&W Fire Safety app can store data of the Fire Safety Committee. Premise emergency data can be easily downloaded from the C&W Fire Safety app. Emergency response plan can be assembled with the C&W Fire Safety app. Lastly, training and videos can be viewed from the C&W Fire Safety app.
Our remote supervisory system is assembled and installed by our in-house technician, where we bought various parts like 360-degree cameras, solar panels, standby batteries, motion detector, and two-way voice communication. It is deployed at the site to replace standing supervision. Our staff will not be exposed to extreme weather condition, potential accident, and environment hazard at the work site. We are able to assess the site condition using our laptop and handphone. We are also able to deploy our staff to do more meaningful work like analyzing of data and troubleshoot problem instead of putting them under the sun to monitor the site work. Video, please.
Remote Supervisory System by C&W Services. C&W is contracted to manage and supervise the maintenance of utilities infrastructure and its facilities. Majority of the works are carried out outdoors and mostly in construction work sites. Our site supervisors carry out the site inspections on a daily basis, and apart from enduring the hot sun or bad weather conditions, they are also exposed to workplace safety and health hazards. C&W has developed a remote supervisory system to improve the way things being done. This is a remote supervisory system on its way for deployment. The site supervisor surveys and identifies a suitable location for the placement of the remote supervisory system. This remote supervisory system is specifically designed to substitute the supervisor on the ground. The remote supervisory system is a self-powered using solar energy. It comes with a 360-degree PTZ camera and has two-way communication system.
Yes, I can see you clearly.
Now I'm going to test the mic. Can you hear me? 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you.
Our site supervisor now carries out his daily inspections and surveillance from his desk in the office.
Excuse me, sir. Can you pull out your helmet immediately, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
Center, can you hear me?
Yes, what can I help you?
This is my PTW. Can I proceed with my work?
Okay, hold on. Okay, all in order. Please proceed.
Thank you.
For the food waste digester, we work with our cleaning contractor. This digester will convert food waste into fertilizer. This reduces pest and bird infestation at the site. There will be lesser manpower incurred to clean the bin center and also lesser water usage. Video, please.
The Foodway Digester is a sustainability initiative implemented at industrial estates. It works by converting a food waste into reusable landscape fertilizer. The initiative objectives are to manage food waste sustainably, eliminate pest infestation, and reduce the carbon footprint on site. The Foodway Digester can convert 1 ton of food waste into 100 kg of reusable fertilizer within a 24-hour. On average, the Foodway Digester produces 800 kg of fertilizer every month on site. After implementing the Foodway Digester, demand for food waste disposal services consequently dropped. Haulage service will cut to half, creating additional cost saving per month. And productivity at the site also improved. Cleaners spend fewer man-hours cleaning and disposing food waste due to lesser storage at bin centers.
This is my last presentation slide. We manage 2 townships in Singapore, that is Marine Parade Town Council and Jurong Clementi Town Council, to monitor the usage of water and electricity consumption of each HDB block. It is very time consuming. We use Power BI to analyze the utilities consumption. We are also able to track and analyze utilities consumption more efficiently, identify consumption pattern, and also identify blocks with high consumption. With this, we are able to lower our utilities consumption. Going forward, FM is more than just hard and soft FM. We have to leverage on technology to assist us in our work. Some of laborious and repetitive work will be gradually replaced by technologies. I end my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Cheng. With that, so let's move on to our favorite segment, in conversation with the keynote speakers. So I might invite them back onto the screen. And also, we have a special guest joining us this afternoon as well, Mr. Sam Cheong. All right. So allow me some time to introduce again each of our speakers. But before that, can we also launch the poll concurrently so that we can understand a little bit more about you before we commence on the dialogue session? All right, nice. Okay, so gentle reminder again, you can click on the Q&A button on your screen to type in your queries or inputs, and you can also choose to upvote the questions that resonates well with you. All right, so let me first introduce Mr. Jeffrey. All right, Mr. Jeffrey Neng is the Deputy Group Director, Environmental Sustainability Group of the Building and Construction Authority, overseeing the Facility Management Project Office and Green Mark Department. He oversees several key green building initiatives under the BCA Green Mark Building programs, including the BCA Green Mark scheme, which certifies building on their level of environmental friendliness, especially energy efficiency, water efficiency, and quality of indoor environment. All right. So next I have Madam Cheng is the Group Managing Director of Facilities Management at C&W Services, and she oversees over 800 operational staff to manage a very diverse portfolio of properties, including institutional, commercial, infrastructure, healthcare, educational, and township. All right, and next we also have Mr. Michael Ng, who just presented. He's the current Director of Healthcare Operations at KK Women's and Children's Hospital, and he is also the Vice President of SIFMA, or IFMA Singapore chapter, and works in a very challenging hospital operations landscape where he drives digital transformation and data analytics to achieve smart FM efficiency and derive better performance through outcome-based contracts. And lastly, we have Mr. Sam Cheong. Maybe Mr. Sam, you want to say hello? Okay, good.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you. Oh, nice. All right. He's the Senior Director of Fonda Global Engineering Private Limited, and he has about 32 years in the built and FM industry. Now, Sam oversees FM, street lighting, smart cities, surveillance, and security system business units of his company. He also drives the technology transformation and Go Digital initiatives. So Sam is also one of the board of director of SIFMA. He's the chair for membership and FM implementation committee in the Manpower Industry Development Task Force. He's also in the accreditation committee for professional recognition of FM companies and professionals. I also promised him earlier, actually, to let him share an unconventional academic route that he has taken before we commence on the dialogue session. So Sam, yeah, would you like to let us know?
Yeah, thank you, Colin. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm here to share about my education journey. The main objective of my sharing is to encourage, motivate, and give hope. Yes, indeed, I took a rather unconventional academic route after my O level. As a teenager, I spent 3 years in VITB. I'm sure you know VI offer vocational training to students like myself who were rejected by Polytechnic, rejected by JC. We always say this to ourselves. University degree cannot see and also cannot touch. So future for me was very gloomy. So making matters, VITB decided to change its name to ITE. To us, ITE meant it's the end. So how demoralizing can that be, right? But against all odds, I received my diploma at the age of 27 by doing part-time poly. And upon receiving my diploma, I was granted an overseas study award to do degree in the UK. At the age of 29, I received a first-class honor degree in Triple E. That was in 1994. I became the first ITE graduate to achieve such an honor. But then, I'm definitely not the last, and I'm sure there will be many more to come. Then, at the age of 36, I received a master's degree from NUS doing building science. Currently, I'm a certified chartered engineer and international PE from the UK, and I'm the chartered professional engineer from Australia. So IT education is definitely not the end after all. I'm totally grateful for the technical training received. With this little story of mine, I hope I could encourage, motivate, and give hope to some of you who may be taking a similar path. To you, I would say persevere and stay the course. To the rest, I encourage you to continue pursuing lifelong learning. All the best to your future career. Thank you. Colin, back to you.
All right, sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sam, for your inspiring story. Okay, let's dive straight into our dialogue session. I think I've introduced all of them already. So I think I have a lot of questions which I have grouped them more or less together into technology, into a lot of a lot of people who are looking for switching their career, and there's also a group of people who are in the about regulatory questions, and there were some and a lot of questions on technology actually, and some on the general scene of the FM industry. And let me summarize a bit on the poll results so our panelists here will understand our audience a little bit better. About 70% of you are actually in the BE sector. Okay, it's quite surprising. So there are 70% of you in the BE sector is in this audience here, and 30% who are not in the BE sector. And most of you actually attend this webinar because you are looking to upskill and upgrade yourself. Okay, and some of you are looking for a change of industry, and there's another big portion of you who are under others. Okay, so I'm not sure what the others means, but let's dive straight into some of the questions that I have for the panelists. Perhaps I will throw my first question to maybe Jeffrey. I think there was one question that talks about more on the regulatory part on the Green Mark Platinum Zero Energy Building is a new category for Green Mark certification of super low energy building. So does that mean that any building that is doing Green Mark Platinum will automatically qualify for that?
Yes. Am I unmute?
No. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. On you. Can hear you.
Okay. Thank you, Colin. Thank you. The question on relating to the green mark. No, actually, this green mark platinum ZEB that I share is not a new scheme. In fact, that we launched it in 2018 under the Super Low Energy Challenge. So why specifically say it's about net zero building? Because for this particular project, Keppel Bay Tower, one of the key conditions for you to achieve net zero, the very first additional condition on top of the Green Mark Platinum is that you must achieve the super low energy design in the first place, which means that you need to demonstrate that your building are at least 60% more energy efficient than if you were to design your building way back in 2005. Then the remaining of the energy used in the building are to be substituted by clean and renewable energy. And because of that, this particular building can achieve this net energy building. And this is, I must say, this is no small feat because it required a critical thing through by many multidisciplinary to achieve the same very aggressive outcome. I hope that actually I answered the question to
I think
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Jeffrey. Thanks, Jeffrey. Okay, I have a lot of burning questions, so I hope to, because we don't have much time, so I hope to cover as much as I can. Okay, this question is actually probably open up more to Madam Cheng. I see a lot of questions for you as well. There are a lot of questions on technology, and perhaps maybe even Sam and also Michael, both of you could also answer the question. I think the question is asking more about the return of investment for implementation of smart technology. There were some people also asking about the data that are being collected. There's so much data being collected. How do you even keep the cost low while running a building? And also, when 5G comes, how are we tapping on it? So I think we can answer slowly, but these are some of the questions that are coming in about technology. There's also one question about the challenges of using BIM. For example, when we look into 6D and 7D in terms of interoperability of this using this BIM technology, what are the challenges that you have? And also, I pull in one more layer. If someone were to come in as an FM manager role, does he need to manage all of this BIM roles as well in the usage of all this technology?
Okay, let me start first for IoT sensor. Based on our experience that we do for SLA commercial properties, by doing IoT sensor, we able to cut down our the number of technician at the site there, because everything is by remote, and based on our analysis is that we are able to pay the rate of in about 2 or 3 years, about 2 years plus, we are able to recoup our capital. In fact, our IoT sensors are from China, where our parent company where our company in Cushman and Whitfield in China is using this technology, and it's proven is good. And the return, based on analysis, as I say, is about 2 to 3 years, we are able to recover it. Then the other thing is that the 5G, as far as in terms of 5G, I'm not so sure because I'm not techie enough. All this, I leave it to my staff, they do analysis about all these things. But I know is from IoT to the next connection is by Zigfog, which is free. No need to use I understand no need to use a waveband or what. It is free. We use Zigfog technology. The other thing, talking about BIM, I'm not so, those buildings that I manage, we do not use BIM. So I'm not sure whether Sam or Michael is able to share with us on this.
Perhaps Sam, would you like to answer?
Okay, I thought Michael would come in.
Okay,
Sure.
yeah, you go ahead first, yeah.
Okay, I'll just address one item, the FM manager. Okay, obviously, FM manager do not need to know every scope in that company, but of course, it is an added advantage, and especially BIM is very specialized. To operate BIM, of course, you need to have skilled, qualified personnel to operate the BIM. But as a facility manager, doesn't mean you really need to have that BIM experience. All right. But what is more important is the soft skill of the facility manager. Why I say that is because at this current point in time, there are many employee or personnel would like to come into a different industry, all right, by choice or no choice. Yeah. So So when you come into a different industry, definitely the skill sets is not really 100% appropriate. But the soft skill is very important. The way he manages staff, manages his subordinate, the way he interpret, the way he think logically is very important. And if this person are able to give training to younger employee or subordinates, that would be better. So one example, recently I've recruited an engineer from a totally different industry, from aerospace, and he's 59 years old. It's totally different from my line of work, our company line of work. But why I took him in? Because of his soft skill that I have mentioned. Yeah, thank you, Colin.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, thanks. Michael, would you like to add
Yeah,
on?
I'll just actually add on BIM. Unfortunately, because how wish KKH we have BIM, and unfortunately, when we actually built this hospital, it's actually old. And what I've actually see that BIM, certainly, if we can implement BIM in our hospital, is fabulous. I think this is actually one of the key things that we all owners should actually sort of embrace it. I know like In Ting Fong Hospital do actually have BIM, and it it helps the technicians as well as actually FM professionals very much, because I think they don't have to actually sort of have sets of their as-built drawings and all through BIM. You can actually identify parts, identify the drawings all through BIM. So it certainly helps to identify the issue much easier, and helps to really get the rectification done. On the other hand, I think there was actually one question, that with all the technologies that we actually have, what is actually the cost benefits? All right, there are a lot of cost benefits out there, and for us, it's actually basically as owners, we want to actually work with our partners, and what I've actually mentioned about OBC is outcome-based contract. When we, in a way, we have extend our contracts to our service providers in much a longer term, right? Longer years, and what they've actually brought the yield of it is that they can actually brought technology in, okay? Because upfront we've actually maybe perhaps we've actually paid the cost of the longer duration of contracts with service providers, and in return they have help us with implement a lot of technologies. For example, like we've actually worked with UMS, and it's actually a couple of numbers of technologies that we actually brought in, and this capital cost of technology is actually very high. So for us, it's actually we benefit in a sense. But of course, I think not all is through outcome-based contract. It's through direct contracts with suppliers in terms of technology. If we find that something that helps our patients and our waiting time, we will actually implement it, because it outweighs our manpower cost, because reduce the cost of people attending to the patients, and efficiency of flow is actually even better. I hope I actually answer the questions that the people are asking here. Back to you, Colin.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Michael. I think we mentioned a lot about BIM, but also more than just BIM. I think we now look into technology applications. We now look into IoT. So I think this also has a lot of its challenges. When it comes to employment, I hear from Sam just now, you mentioned about you hired actually someone with softer skills, and that's what you were looking for. So I will now move and switch over to looking at softer skills, or maybe transferable skills of our viewers here. I think a lot of them were asking about they were from other industries, and they want to come into our into FM industry, or looking for a career switch. So what are the in-demand skill sets required? So for example, maybe I give a little bit of context from some of our audience here. There's this guy who says that he has no background in engineering or FM, but he has a Masters of Science in Environmental Management, and he's actually a LEED accredited green associate. then he's asking whether is he able to join the FM field. I also have a question. Also have a student here, or rather, I am not sure. He just mentioned he just completed an FM conversion course, and he was previously an electrical engineer in a consultancy. Whether he's also able to enter into the FM industry. Another one asks about job opportunities for mid-career search, for mid-career job, mid-career switch from finance and banking industry. So I think given this three persons background, what are some of the in-demand skill sets that probably is required from you guys as employers?
Colleague, Jeffrey here, can I
Sure,
please?
sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think one of the question is one of the question is you have the MSc in the Masters of Science in Environmental Management, and
Yes, that's
he or
right.
she is the lead, right? So I thought that this is quite relevant for the built environment, in particular also in the area of environmental sustainability. Because if you really talk about environmental management, I think that is what we are all about. But I thought that maybe just want to add the context is that while LEED is actually a very international, very US-based green building rating systems, and perhaps my suggestion is that for him or for her to really also understand some of the local regulations relating to the green building, as well as the local green building rating tools such as the BCA Green Mark, by looking into the BCA Academy training courses, because I think we have a series of training related to becoming a Green Mark manager, becoming a Green Mark professional. I also want to add on here is that, as I mentioned, the green building journey, we started way back in 15 years ago. So we actually created a very good ecosystem for people who join the BE sector to also equip themselves to be having this green building knowledge. I think this one, I take it that this is going to be a horizontal skill. In other words, means that whether you are becoming, or whether you are aimed to want to be an FM manager, whether you want to be an architect, whether you want to become an engineer, it is a horizontal. So you are a green architect, you are the green engineer, you are the green facility manager. So these are horizontal, important skill set, technical skill set. I think that going forward, it will be very helpful when you join the PE sector. But that one, having said that, I think going forward, and when I talk about super low energy building, when we talk about the world as well as Singapore is pivoting to a low carbon economy, having green building alone, having energy efficiency alone is not sufficient. It requires specializations that required candidate to look into very special skill sets, such as carbon services, such as the skill of, or even a career of computing embodied carbons, such as the skill or the career into computing life cycle cost analysis of a certain development. Not happening yet. I think not happening in Singapore. The way that I look at it, but there are emerging trends that I start to see some of the developed countries that they are moving into that direction, simply because many banks, right, as I mentioned, is many financial institutions that they are now asking the loan, hey, you want to do a project, you must demonstrate to me that you are doing it environmentally friendly. Before, otherwise, I would not even release you as a green loan or green facility. And many of these requirements from the banks, they are asking you to measure, plan, measure, and verify the design of a low carbon developments. So I think here is that the trend of the sector towards environmental sustainability, as well as the trend towards even the FM parts, right, it's become integrated in a way that pivoting towards a low carbon development that also help Singapore, as well as the individual, as well as the local businesses, Singapore that are doing all these things, having many of these export opportunity for the region as well as for overseas. Thank you.
How about the rest of the panelists? Would you like to add on?
Yeah, Colin, can I take your query?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, regarding the in-demand skill for employer. Okay, I'm involved in interviewing candidates in my company. So I'll speak on behalf of a company. So we have demand to for local M&E engineers and technicians. And then they should be at least be educated and skilled in mechanical or electrical engineering. But then I will also welcome local fresh grad, whether from poly or ITE or any technical institution or academy, just like BCAA. All right. And definitely the three query from the participants, your qualification, definitely you're welcome. Especially the second participants who was in the electrical consultancy. So electrical is very related to FM as well, or the built industry, built environment. Yes, these are the skill sets that is in demand. Thank you. Colin?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I just
Michael?
actually add on to what Sam has actually mentioned? I think SIFMA, in actual fact, Sam was actually very nice. In actual fact, he's actually the chairman of our SIFMA membership committee, and he didn't sort of say that in order for you guys to join us, then you can actually network with us, and there's an array of job vacancies in the FMCs or service providers, members of our SIFMA team. So there are, in actual fact, there's quite a number of skill sets needed and also vacancies, whether in the town councils, whether in the service providers, is whether you would want to actually sort of engage us and look for more opportunities where we can actually network with you and maybe show you what are the things that maybe perhaps contact us and be a member of a SIFMA. So when you're actually a member of SIFMA, I mean, you can actually contact Sam or myself, and we can actually direct you to our SIFMA secretariat, and we can actually show you the vacancies are available in various of our companies, FMC companies. They are members of our companies. So you can actually get, one of the things that you can actually get on to that. So of course, I think, because of time and we do not want to actually label the connections, we just actually want to actually say that, do join us. SIFMA is there for you. I think the association is create an opportunities for network, and for those that who's actually not in the industry who want to actually come to our FM industry, we welcome you. All right. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Michael. Madam Ching?
Okay. I mean, what Michael and Sam and Jeffrey has spoken, I fully agree with them. But for me, I would say that for the candidate that I would successfully for me, if I take them, I must say that at least they have some basic knowledge. I won't say it's the depth, some basic knowledge, and most important, they must be hardworking. They must have positive attitude and mindset, and they continuously upgrading, because government have a lot of courses for them to to attend. For example, FSM, the Green Mark Manager, the work at heart. So if they're continuous upgrade all this by such training, I think they'll be a very wonderful facility manager.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Madam Cheng. I think maybe I go back to Michael. You mentioned about contacting SIFMA. How can they reach out to you? Because I do see quite a lot of queries from the from the chat
Yes,
group that
you can.
they
I
are
think
asking. Yeah, how do they reach out to you? And also some people were
so.
even asking for your contact so that they can know how to
Sure,
improve the
sure.
FM industry.
Well,
Yeah.
I can actually give you my mobile 94750332. I'm sure Sam he give your contact number. I mean, he's the chairman of our membership committee. Like what I've actually mentioned is that like what Madam Ching also mentioned is actually the resiliency whether you have the resiliency to actually want to come into our FM industry. I must actually say that there's a lot of vacancies in, say, for example, like healthcare. When they actually talk about healthcare, when they come to a hospital, I mean, there was some occasion that a number of them, oh, healthcare, I don't want to take on the position because they thought that in healthcare there's actually COVID patients here and they do not want to be infected. So try not to stereotype yourself, right? To have that resiliency is that FM we are all resilient. Many aspects that what we actually do, whether it's actually in healthcare, whether it's commercial buildings, whether in ice shells that we are actually working with. I think it's important is to see what we can add value, what we can actually bring ourselves up to the table, the board table. I think that's a key thing. Yes, communication. Yes, the added value and to ensure that you have a voice on the table. That's important, you see, because I think most of you have the background. The background is in different industry. Maybe you have the management, skill sets. You may have that financial skill set. You may have the communication skill sets, and all these are very, very important. Of course, I think the technical part you may not have that. Whether you're willing to learn or not, right? I think this is actually some of the things that like what Sam. I'm really really impressed of what Sam has done throughout his career. He shared so much things about he himself went through the IT route, and it's like untouchable degrees or JCs that I mean through experience. I think from him he can actually share that from the experience he can actually work himself up. So do you have that skill sets? Do you have that drive in you to wanting to actually do more? That is actually the important thing that I'm actually trying to emphasize here. Thanks. Back to you, Colin.
Yeah, thanks, Michael, for sharing very inspirational speeches, as well as sharing on the journeys of actually you don't really need technical skills and you can upgrade. So I want to also go back to what all of you have also mentioned on how to upgrade. So I just want to re-emphasize again. Later part of this dialogue, once this dialogue ends, there will be a dedicated segment just specially to inform you about the courses available and where you can upgrade yourself. I've seen a lot of questions coming in about whether a mid-career subsidy is available for anyone who is 40 years old and above. Yes, I also see that the profile of the audience here, a lot of you fall within the age group of 40 to 59 years old. Yes, I think there are a lot of subsidies that are available to Singaporeans as well as permanent residents. I think in the later part, so stay back after this, there's a later part of the segment, we'll be sharing on the courses and the initiatives that SSG has also for us, as well as the courses that are available that Madam Ching has mentioned. How do you technically train yourself, whether it's in FM, whether it's a fire, whether it's workplace safety and health, all these are available later in the second segment. If you are still lost, also don't have to worry because we have a second segment later that will cover on this portion. So I want to tie back again back to our perhaps more on the very generic part of things. There was one person who actually asked about our FM industry being a little bit more fragmented and lagging in terms of professionalism as well as standardization. Now, I think perhaps maybe now that you know a little bit more about SIFMA and the general industry, maybe Michael and Sam, perhaps both of you, or even Madam Cheng, you can also add on to this. How would you want to react to this comment about the FM industry still feeling very fragmented and lagging in terms of professionalism and standardization?
Yeah. I'll just actually start it off with SIFMA. In SIFMA, we have actually a work group, and we have actually worked with PCA in many aspects of the things, how we can, has a TAC, right? Has a TAC, we can actually develop our FM to more credible, and develop their skill sets and how they can actually, how FM can actually get themselves recognized is through accreditation. There's the only no choice. It's actually through accreditation. And if you were to ask me when is the accreditation actually comes about, I think it's very soon. We are working and it's in progress. We are working with SSG as well as the WSG as well to actually work on a certain framework of how we can actually come up with credentials, for FMCs as well as FM professionals. So it's actually important that join us. Like I've actually said, I think if you are with us, we will help you. We will actually assist you to come up, with a certain accreditation. And on the overall, global stage, we do have instructors, in our SIFMA to guide you through to attain FMPs, facilities management professionals. And if you're keen, you want to actually go in for CFM, is Certified Facilities Manager, and these two scheme or credentials are recognized in the world, right? And wherever you go around the world, you will be actually recognized for this. But of course, locally, we want to actually set a baseline as well. I think the baseline is actually important, for people who want to actually come to the industry, to FM. That's a certain accreditation that we are looking into. So come to us, we'll welcome you. We'll actually explain, what are these accreditation, that, so that you can take a step up, from a low rung level to a high level, depending on where you are, whether you're technicians, PMETs, from the technicians level to managers and professionals. Thank you.
Okay,
Back to you,
I
Colin.
second. Okay, I take over.
Yeah.
Okay, I second what Michael just said. All right. For on the FM being fragmented, we have to understand that FM consists of many systems, and this system need to talk to each other. And yes, it is fragmented, but that's what Sigma is for. Please come and join us. Get accredited as FM professional and be a certified FM practitioner. Right? Work with us to resolve this problem in the industry. Thank you.
I think besides having SIFMA here, I'm not sure, Jeffrey, do we have any from regulatory point of view, from our future plans in future? Is there anything that you feel we could help to put the FM scene together, or these are plans being rolled out?
Oh yes, certainly. I've been working very closely with Michael, Madam Cheng on setting up the SIFMA. I think the 8 key problems that mentioned by Michael, I think this is still valid. I think it's still a challenge, but I think we are seeing improvements by looking into 3 areas. If I may group that, the challenges as well as the opportunity, how actually we can make it right for the FM sector going forward is one is to set standards. I think the accreditation standard that Michael Sams talk about is a very important milestone, so that when we accredited individual, whether we are accrediting a competent FM firms, this is something that we need to really start working on that. The second part of that, I think that BCA been working very closely with SIFMA is how do we create demands? I think while you have a good standard, while you have a capable FMO, capable smart FM, capable firms, I think we need to also start to connecting the dots of how do we create such a demands that where do all these headcount-based contract. Why we want to do the headcount-based tender contract while we can actually use outcome-based using a technology that can actually able to demonstrate that the certain productivity. Now, I know that one of the participants say that, well, it's not so, it's easy to say than done, because many of times at the moment you introduce technology, when you introduce smart FM, you always, when you compare to the traditional way of how people do the job using manpower, you always have a disadvantage. But I think the disadvantage are closing the gap because the manpower cost is escalating. Right? Because I think many of you actually know that we are in an aging population, right? So everybody are fighting for talents within the sector, within the FM. So low cost of doing business going forward would not be sustaining. Okay, so technology now is a best way of now putting forerunner to say that how can we do better with a smaller workforce, but competent one that complement with very strong technology skill set. Using some of the technology that Madam Chen mentioned and Michael mentioned about using drone, artificial intelligence, and do things right. So if you look at that, is that probably in the next few years, what we can see here is that they may be cost neutral, cost parity as compared to what we are doing today. Now, having said that, I think we just do some selling of Goyok, right? So in BCA, we also have recently launched the Smart FM Challenge, and welcoming a company to put forth a proposal of some innovative idea in the area of Smart FM, and there are funding available to help many of these innovators to co-create solution to help to improve the productivity, to help to improve the FM in Singapore. I hope I just give a very sorry, I forgot the last one, right? Is how do we do the supply side? So I think the supply side, I think again we are able to find a way to attract the talents to join, because I think today as like the construction industry where always have an image of a 3D, right? Dangerous, demanding, and dirty. I think the same thing that I think that we are seeing this the same thing for FM, but I think we also need to change the image that FM is not a 24 hours kind of a job. FM is not a thankless job. FM is in the era of this COVID-19 situation when we're in the circuit period, we need to see that the importance of FM, right? That where everybody work from home, where we vacated all the buildings, but you still need the FM workforce to continue to upkeep the buildings to ensure that when next time when we are back to the phase 3 or post phase 3, when we go back to office building, all these buildings are well maintained, that you can continue your business activity therefore, right? So I think the pandemic probably also a blessing in disguise to show that the importance of the resilience of the FM, where you create the importance, you show that that is why actually FM is become important, and more so so that we continue to able to attract more younger or as well as a mid-career to see FM as well as the BE sector to be the attractive career of choice for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I think you added on a lot more answers to also how some of the questions that are being raised here on how BCA and other agencies are also supporting the advancement of FM. Madam Ching, you want to add something?
No, in fact, I fully agree what Jeffrey has said. Because of the COVID, and all of us know the importance of FM in the industries, and then coupled with the BCA and the JTC and the SIFMA moving forwards the aggregation of the professional, I think is really a booster that in the market, it's a matter of time. People will realize, people will know the professionalism of FM and the importance of it.
Oh, thank you, Madam Ching. Yes, I think indeed. I would like to go back again because I see some questions coming in on the skills again. I think there are a lot of people who are seeking to switch jobs. So I think there's one person who asked about what do you think is the most important skill set that you think is needed for an FMer?
Okay.
If
Do you
don't
want
mind,
me to actually add in? Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, madam.
Okay, for me, you can have you may have M&E, good M&E training or knowledge in any work. I think the soft skill is very important. How you interact with your customer, your client, your stakeholder, how you solve their problem, how you are very professional in your work. That's very important.
Yeah. I second that to Madam. I think soft skills, I think Sam has actually mentioned about the soft skill. But I wanted to actually add on is that, when we respond to COVID-19 in this new normal kind of era, that digital skills is always an essential. Yeah, digital skills, and of course, I think soft skills includes more collaboration. You must be collaborative. I think like our FM in healthcare, if we have our own set mind looking into our hard FM, regardless of our patients, regardless of our doctors or nurses, you will not get anywhere, lah, right? I think it's important is that who are your stakeholders? Whether it's your nurses, whether it's actually your doctors, whether it's actually your patients. You see, ultimately is that we are working in the hospital is actually because the first foremost is actually basically our patient. Patient is actually come here to get well, not to get sicker and sicker, right? To get well. Now, how we can actually get them well in the stage of recovery is through the environment, is through cleanliness, security, IAQ, to ensure that the place is well, maybe perhaps design or in a comfortable place for them to be in. I think the other one is through productivity, drive productivity. If you have that skill sets to drive productivity through technology, then I think FM is actually for you too, right? I think you must be also have that innovative minds, think of different ways of working. If one way cannot move on to another way, and also to have that lifelong learning lah, is to be resilient and lifelong learning. Because I think a lot of my colleagues that have actually encouraged my uh, co-workers, I've actually encouraged them, and they've actually went through the journey of diploma. From diploma, they've actually went on to a degree. So it's a lifelong journey for them to attain certain things. They don't actually stop where they are, being a diploma, or maybe from a technicians, they actually want to actually pursue up to better in the diploma level. Then from diploma, they're not satisfied, they actually want to actually pursue further. So FM is yeah, is a continuum. There's actually continuum in that perspective that you can actually develop yourself from one to the other. Back to you. I hope I didn't speak too much.
No, I think that's great. I think that's great. Yeah, sure.
Colin, can I just add on? I think
Sure.
to answer one of the question about what kind of skill in FM, I think this is one of the questions. I thought that may be useful for the participants to also take a look closer of the built environment skill framework that we recently launched, and of which FM is one of the vertical of the jobs that we identify in the built environments, right? So within that document, you can actually take a look of the identified so-called technical skill and competency of FM levels, as well as also a generic skill and competency. I remember that let's say for each level, they are between 18 to 22 technical skill and competency identified in the FM skill framework.
Yeah.
There is about, I think, 12 to 15 general skill and competency in each level. So I think that description of skill, whether it is a technical, whether it is general, actually it described in the BE skill framework. So that actually candidate who wish to able to match whether do you have that or do you want to pursue that. I thought that a piece of BE skill framework would be a good place to start for you to understand a bit more what are the career as well as what are the skills in the BE sector. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jeffrey. I think you brought up a very good point on the skills framework. I just want to also hold up. I'm just showing you a pamphlet that I have. This is the Skills Future Singapore. You can always feel free to go to the website on skillsfuturesingapore.sg to download the skills framework to understand a little bit more about what Jeffrey has been mentioning about the different technical skills and competencies that you will need as an FM role. And of course, in this skills framework itself, it lays out very clearly the different job opportunities that you have and the career progression, as well as some wage information. I think one of the questions from the audience is also about how much FM being paid. I think you can have a good look at this document. It shows quite clearly the information on the wage payment as well. And I think some of you also answered some of the questions that the audience have also asked. And also, again, I think there were a few coming in that he's an architectural diploma holder. I think I missed out this person who's from sales and BD, business development and key account management. I hope they have answered your question on what kind of skills that you will need. Probably you already have that you can actually still use in the FM industry. I also see someone who is very inspired by this whole dialogue, and he feels sorry for himself that is far from achieving all the qualifications that is needed, and he wants to make this change. Who should you connect to, or who should you contact? I think later on we have a second segment which is coming up very soon. We have extended this dialogue a little bit already, so I think I want to conclude the dialogue at 4 o'clock. So maybe I will just take on a last piece of advice from all of you panelists here for our audience. Something that maybe it can be motivational, can be recruitment based on, and just one last sentence from all of you.
Okay, I'll start first.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, no workplace can do without FM. FM is an essential services in bad times and good times.
Wow, thank you, Madam Cheng. All right, who wants to go next?
Yeah, Colin, myself.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. As you know, I'm the chair for membership in Sigma. So obviously, I'll say this. I strongly encourage you to join Michael and myself to sign up as member of Sigma. I'm sure it will be beneficial to your FM career. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. I just want to actually add on with what Sam is actually saying. I think in FM, I think resiliency is very, very key, to all what we actually do, whether you're FM in the commercial, healthcare, town councils, or ISHL, resiliency of your work, be able to drive, productivity in a better level, in another level. I think it's actually important that, it's must be keen, must be, looking forward, to, we can actually help you. I think Sam and myself can actually help you. Join us, contact us. I give you my number. I think please do contact us. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. And
for me,
Jeffrey?
just want to say that BE sector set for a strong growth in the future, and probably offering many exciting jobs and developments, and also career growth for many of you. So whether you are in the business of doing green building as well as in the FM. So I hope that today many of this sharing from us actually useful to you, and look forward for you to see you in the BE sector next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey, for summing up. I'm afraid I'm not able to answer all the questions that are in the chat. I actually still see a lot of questions coming in, but I apologize for that. I've tried to answer as many as we can already. So once again, thank you, panelists, for your insights and very candid sharing as well, and also to audience, to you guys for your questions, which makes this dialogue really, really much more engaging. So without further ado, I think let's move on to our last segment, which can also be the most important segment for some of you, as we have Mr. Junior from the Skills and Training Advisory of SSG, Skills Future Singapore, to share on courses and also some initiatives as well as some information on where you can upgrade yourself should you wish to pursue a FM career with us in the BE sector. So Junior, if you're ready, over to you.
Hi everyone. Hey, my name is Tuan Junior. So pleased to meet all of you. I can see from the panelists and other questions, I think there's a lot of individuals like you who are very, very interested in actually finding out a little bit more on I would like to upgrade myself. How do I go about it? But I am a bit uncertain as well. So let us try to help. So okay, the next slide, please. All right, so this is me. Okay, my name is Tuan Junior. So actually, with the Skills and Training Advisory Unit at Lifelong Learning Institute, Skills Future Singapore. So most of us, we are actually representing what we would commonly known as the skills ambassadors. So what do we do? Next slide. Okay, so basically, what we're trying to do here from Skills Future Singapore is really to encourage citizens, residents like you, whom are keen to upgrade your skills. If you're looking at career progression in your respective roles, maybe you want to transit into the FM sector, but not sure exactly how to go about it, then Skills and Training Advisory is here to help you. Right. So what we are looking at is really to guide you, share with you certain key components, or maybe is FM even for you, like what the panelists have shared. All right. So maybe to elaborate further on what Skills and Training Advisory is about, the next slide. Okay. So we are actually a new service offered by Skills Future Singapore to guide all residents in really identifying your skills and training needs. In short, if you do not know where to go, what training to take, come and speak to us. We'll help you out. All right. All of us will have different stages, whether, as I mentioned earlier, you are keen to move in to the sector, you're keen to get new relevant skills. We are here to help. And what are the real benefits from Skills and Training Advisory? Can the next slide, please? Okay, it is really, in a nutshell, 6 key points that I would like to share. One, every one of us will have different training needs. There is no two person with the same training needs, and everyone's requirements will be very much different as well. So really receive a personalized advisory and guidance from respective skills ambassadors. Me and my colleagues, we're here to help. Whether it's FM, if the build industry is for you, and which aspect of the build industry are you keen to get beyond, even not just at the FM sectors. Let's explore that together. And of course, end of the day, whatever decision that you have come to, whether are you trying to transit into the sector, what course to take up so that I can be better at my jobs in the respective roles you are in, we will actually share with you. Majority of the courses may come from BCA, hence because they are the market leader currently in the sector. You can actually then approach them with confidence that, hey, this is the course for me, this is the course for my career. And on top of that, where SSG can come in is that we do have quite a fair bit of initiatives or funding support for individuals, whether you are company sponsored or whether you are self-sponsored as an individual. What do I mean? Take for instance, if you are looking at asking the company to help you in terms of skills upgrading, we do have funding mechanisms such as SDF grants to help individuals. And on top of that, because of the current COVID-19 situation, we have an enhanced support for SMEs as well to help employers upskill their workers so that they become relevant, remain relevant in the changing market. But if you are keen to explore new sectors, new industry, then being self-sponsored individual, we do have additional funding such as the mid-career enhanced subsidy, 40 and above, whereby there are fundings up to 90%, which means you only pay 10% of the course fees to actually enjoy the knowledge gain, the new skills you can learn. And of course, there is existingly a program that we are launching under SG Method Jobs and Skills, whereby there is actually what we would call sorry about the background. The SG United Skills Program. So this program is actually a learning program whereby you are able to actually embark on, you'll be given a training allowance as you embark on this program to learn on a new skill to move into certain sector that is earmarked to be growth or growing sectors where there are jobs readily available should you be successful with the respective programs. That being said, okay, there's so many options available for you. So how do you actually go about it, or how do you even contact us, a skills ambassador, to even approach for this skills and training advisory? To simplify the process today, we have what we have in front of you. Can I have the next slide, please? Thanks. Next slide. Okay. Next. Okay, so this is actually a simple QR code. If you are keen to actually find out more about skills and training advisory and want to speak to somebody about built environment for you, if I'm already in the sector, what courses should I take to actually upskill myself? You scan the QR code that you can see on your screens right now and actually fill out a simple form so that we, the skills ambassadors, can actually contact you to have a one-on-one personalized session within the next 2 to 3 working days. So on the last question, you will actually ask a question. How do you hear about us? So do key in BE Learn so that we know that you actually came from the Environment Learning Day and we exactly can provide the right advice to you that is going to be more useful as well. So at this point in time, if you have any questions with regards to skills and training advisory, I think I'm open to the floor. I'm not sure whether Colin can actually share more information if there's any questions with regards to.
Okay, I think hello. Okay, can you hear me? Actually, I
Yes.
think there's this Angeline Han who asked whether they can have a link instead of a QR code because I think they are using the mobile to access this webinar. So
Okay.
yeah, so perhaps
There is
maybe
actually, I think below there's actually a link. It may not be clear. So it's go.gov.sg/1FZX3V. Not sure whether can you actually see.
okay, I've typed that into our chat group. For those of you who have that kind of access, you can use that. I think it's important to put in the word BE Learn, right? So that they know that you
Yes.
guys will know
So
that
that
this
we
is from
know
this
where
webinar.
you're coming from. And I
I
think
see.
in terms of the interest you are at, all right, well, particularly in the built environment, so it helps to remain focused on point
Okay.
for the skills ambassador to provide the right advice to you.
Sure, sure. Wow, this looks like a discount code, BE Learn.
A discount code, yeah,
in.
a voucher so that we know
Yeah.
better how
Sure.
to provide assistance to individuals as well.
Yeah, sure, sure. Maybe I will just take this chance while you guys are scanning to just and also wait for any more questions that are coming in that you have for Junior. You can also feel free to type in the Q&A or the chat group if you want to. Okay, let me see. No, I think no questions in yet. But I'd just like to sell a little bit. I think there are also SG United courses that are available for you if you would like to find courses that upgrade yourself, especially in the FM sector. We in BC Academy, we currently have the SGUS IDD course that's already being launched. It's integrated digital delivery. We also have a course on the SGUS course on sustainability, and that will be launched somewhere between mid-January to February period. So do have a look out for it, and do look out our BC Academy website, which you can find later linked from the LLI website. So important thing is later, do keep a lookout on the BCA as well as LLI's social media on more details of the BE information. All right. So let me see. Perhaps we give them one more minute to see if there's any questions for Junior. Right now, I don't see any questions yet. Maybe I just use this chance also to highlight that I think many of you were also asking about whether you can get the slides, whether you can have the videos. I think I've answered one of you to tell you that the video will be available next week. But with regards to the slides, we need to seek permissions from our speakers first before we can share the slides with you all. Perhaps if it's not able to share the slides, then the video will definitely be available next week. So do look out for the video on the BCA as well as LLI social media. It will be available there. And I think we are also building up a microsite, especially for this event. So do look out again for the LLI social media and LLI's website for all this information on the BE sector. Okay, I think I don't see any questions coming on that. I do see one comment to talk about mid-career subsidy should be applied to the courses and be indicated on the BCA website. Okay, we'll take note of that. Raja Sekaran, we'll take note of that.
Well,
So,
an
Junior,
alternative for
yeah, sure.
Rajesh is you are keen to take on certain courses under the mid-career enhanced subsidy, you can actually log on to My Skills Future to actually search for the course title as well. will have the indication there. So it will actually help you to identify certain courses, whether you are eligible for that subsidy.
All right. I think perhaps, Junior, is that all from you?
That's all from me. So I
Okay,
hope
sure.
you
Thank
guys
you
will
so much.
sign up and let us contact you to help you out if you guys need more help and guidance in your career journeys ahead.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Junior, for sharing with us. Do sign up on the website given. I hope you guys have already scanned the QR code. If not, the link is still in the chat below. So I'm afraid that's all the time that we have today. I'm cognizant of time, and I think we have come to the end of the BE Learning Day 2020, jointly organized by BCA as well as LRI. But before you go, don't forget to complete the feedback form shown on your screen right now. Can we have the QR code to come up? Yes, and do keep a lookout on the BCA as well as LRI's social media for more details on the BE information. I also recall that you have a lot of questions here. We see what we can do. Some of the questions, perhaps maybe we can also answer them, and we will upload in the LRI social media website. So again, I cannot emphasize enough, do look out for the social media on LRI social media website for all of this information that we mentioned earlier. So we hope you have an amazing and fruitful session today. I hope we inspired most of you, whether it's here you are here for upgrading, whether you are here to change a career, switch to a different industry. We hope that we have inspired you enough. So signing off, this is Architect Colin, and on behalf of BC and LI, stay safe and happy holidays, and see you in our BE sector soon. Have a good day.